Look at this gem right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to surprise the Car Craze Kid with this gorgeous Quadrifoglio. Gotta love that Clover. 505 horsepower. Amazing car. One of the few and only SUVs that will ride and drive like a supercar. Amazing. Let's see. Here he is playing. Got a surprise for you. What do you think this is?
Is this an Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio?
Why, yes it is. What do you think?
This is insane.
What do you know about the Quadrifoglio, huh? Pretty awesome cars.
Yeah.
Look at how the handles all glow like that. Actually, what do you think about this pearl white? Is that not one of the sickest pearl whites you've seen?
Oh, it's amazing.
Look at it. Look how they glow on this side. Isn't that amazing? Of course, it's got the remote start. Mirrors pop out on their own. Look at those wheels. Aren't those wheels sick?
Oh, the circle.
5-hole wheels, yep. Look at that. Look at that glitter, or the pearl. It's amazing. So what do you know about the Quadrifoglio?
505 horsepower, around 300 pound-feet of torque, and this car, some people say it has a Ferrari V8. They chopped off two cylinders, and it would make sense because Alfa Romeo owns Ferrari, and if you look on the engine, it has an exoskeleton.
Really? Well, why don't we take a look? Look at that. Is that not amazing? Beautiful.
Twin turbo V6 right there.
It's awesome. It pumps out 505 horsepower. Look, the intake's going right in there, directly into the engine. And I don't know if you can see. So right down in here, you can actually see part of that exoskeleton. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So, here, let's go inside. Let's take it for a spin. What do you think? See what it really does. Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go. Of course, look at that red and black interior. Gorgeous inside and out. Start her up. See what she can do. Everywhere you look.
This thing truly feels like a supercar.
Bolsters you can actually adjust. Look, check this out. So here's your dynamic, your different drive modes, right?
Yeah.
So natural, put in dynamic, and you can actually adjust the suspension. Turn it on and off to dampening. Now, you see right here, once you end up putting it into race mode, you hear the exhaust.
Oh yeah.
Gets a little bit louder, and then all the traction control gets turned off, the stability control, everything. What's even cooler, listen to this. Is that not cool?
Oh, that's amazing.
All right, so we'll take it for a spin, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Cooler, you got their paddle shifters right here, and the paddle shifters are connected to the actual steering column the way a true race car has it, and you can just grab it in the middle of the turn, pop pop pop, you're good to go. So kick this over to manual mode. Of course, you got your adjustable suspension right over here. Gotta have your heated seats, heated steering wheel. So yeah, and this thing is insane. Wait till we take off. If we can even grab traction. This is all-wheel drive, and even still.
That
Would show you the speed, but can't. Fast, insane fast. That's all I gotta say. 0 to 60, I think, is what? How fast?
around 3.6 seconds.
Insane. And that little pop every time you shift, probably one of the, as a matter of fact, so it's so crisp. I've never felt paddle shifters that are this nice. Aluminum, they're none of that cheap plastic stuff. They're crisp. Every time you hit it, it shifts. It shifts when you tell it to shift. Believe it or not, this transmission that they use in here is the same transmission they use in the Lamborghini Urus. So it is the quickest shifting transmission for an SUV out there, bar none. Insane. Gotta love it. G80, 3.3T. We got it.
Oh my god.
How's that fun?
Oh my gosh. That's fast.
Love the downshifts. You hear the downshifts?
Yeah.
You can feel
Like-
it slip a little bit there. That's
That is-
awesome.
That's fast.
I mean, it's just, when we started getting on it through the turn, it slipped down, but it was still right there. It was hooked up, controlled. You knew what the car was going to do. It was what you want from a sports car, much less a sports SUV. I've driven quite a few. But very few that handle like this. This does not handle like an SUV at all. Actually, this handles better than most sports cars do. And when you get back in the neighborhood, put it back into a natural or dynamic, quiet. Feel the exhaust? Now you don't. What'd you think about that?
Wow. Now I get why Alfa Romeo is so successful in racing. Speaking about racing, do you know the story behind the four-leaf clover?
No.
So when Alfa Romeo first entered racing, they always got second place, and their driver got so tired of it that he resorted to anything that he could. So he painted a four-leaf clover on a square on one of his race cars, and the first race that they entered with the four-leaf clover on the car, they won. And that was Alfa Romeo's first win in racing history. And if you see, I said square. This is actually a triangle. When the race car driver died in an accident in a race, they actually removed one of the corners.
So they went from a square to a triangle.
Yep. Now let me show you around the heart of this monster. First of all, this carbon fiber hood has cutouts for vents so that all the hot air can escape the engine and cool off the engine.
Looks like shark gills.
It really does. This is actually the same motor that they use in Ferraris. Now in Ferraris they actually have a V8. This is a V6. They just cut off 2 cylinders. And if you look right there, that metal piece, that is actually the exoskeleton of the motor from the 2 cylinders that they cut off. Now coming on to the cockpit of this insane beast, we have some interesting stuff in here. For example, the start button on the steering wheel, just like in the Ferraris that they have nowadays. And then you might think this is quite inefficient having 505 horsepower in a crossover, but if you put it into the mode with an A, it can actually do 25 miles per gallon.
Wow.
And then also these paddle shifters, they're quite big and they're attached to the steering column instead of to the steering wheel itself, just like a race car. So while you're turning, you can shift like so. And then also, all this carbon fiber, it's truly like a supercar, but just bigger and more practical. And you can fit the whole family.
Oh, look at that. The Alfa Romeo
Oh yeah.
in the headrest. Well done.
At first glance, it may not look like anything special, but it is a monster. 505 horsepower twin turbo V6. Now, with 505 horsepower and all that air coming in, it has to be shot out somewhere. So you have your quad exhausts, just like you see on any other true supercar. And they actually, if you look at this is quite a weird body line, as it really doesn't fade into anything at all. And they actually intended to put a vent there, and to do that, it had to be fake. So they decided, what's the point of having a fake vent? So they just smoothed out the metal. And also, these fender flares. Only on the Quadrifoglios do they have these fender flares to complement the bigger tires. And now I know why Jeremy Clarkson and so many others say that you're not a true sports car enthusiast if you haven't experienced an Alfa Romeo. Wow, that was a really good video. Make sure to like and subscribe down below.